Ladies and gentlemen, people from all around the world, and fans of heroes, Fandom Live is here to present a show unlike any other. With us tonight is Jovan.
Hi.
And Toby. And we're here to have a Fandom Live episode, a review episode devoted to the latest Terry Gilliam movie,
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
So to start it off,
Yeah.
I guess we can discuss what the movie is about for our viewers who didn't catch the movie when it was showing on the screens. Dr. Parnassus.
Dr. Parnassus is head of a theater troupe, a traveling theater troupe. They stage shows around the city, and sadly they don't make enough money, to subsist on.
No, their income isn't as good as it should be. And the twist in the story is the fact that people who go to watch the show of Dr. Parnassus and his
They're
Imaginarium,
changed.
because they get more than they actually bargained for.
Yes.
Because you see, the good doctor made a bet.
With,
Old Nick himself.
yes, old Nick.
And the bet has required them now to engage in this little game on
To
who wins the most
most
number of
souls.
souls, given a limited amount of time.
Yes.
The time being,
The 16th birthday of his daughter.
so Dr. Parnassus is a film which is quite different from what people tend to expect from movies,
It's very fantastic, actually.
and we shall tell you more about it when we return to talk about the cast. So in this movie, we have a huge number of characters as part of the cast. We have 4 people playing one single role, the
Yes,
role of
the
Tony.
which was initially played by Heath Ledger until he died in mid-production. That's why 3 other people had to take the helm.
Heath Ledger is remembered by many of us geeks because of his roles in Dark Knight,
Dark Knight.
where he literally gave the Joker a new life.
Yes.
There are of course those who remember him from Brokeback Mountain.
Or Casanova. Or 10 Things I Hate About You, which is like my absolute favorite.
So I guess before we continue, we shall have a moment of silence for Heath Ledger. May he be happily in the Imaginarium wherever he is right now. Joining Heath Ledger in the movie are a number of other people who are either people who've joined Terry Gilliam in past productions or who are pretty new to the industry. There's the leading lady,
Lily Cole, she plays Valentina, the daughter of Dr. Parnassus.
she's very ethereal in the movie, tremendously beautiful. Some complained she looked too old for the character she was portraying, because in the movie she's supposed to be turning 16. But they were saying she was too big for the role.
I don't know. Some people are, they
I've
mature.
seen big 16-year-olds.
Yeah, they mature, earlier than usual. So
Others include Old Nick, or Satan himself, is played by
Tom Waits,
who is known by others for his musical productions. We have Dr. Parnassus himself, played by
Christopher Plummer, the great Christopher Plummer.
And Christopher Plummer is definitely one of the people who's been in theater for a lot
long
of
time.
theater and movies.
Yes.
Always in Terry Gilliam films, he has this thing about midgets. And we have playing the role of Percy, who in some ways people interpret as the conscience of Dr. Parnassus.
Vern Troyer. People would know him as Mini-Me.
And the Austin Powers. And people who are familiar with Terry Gilliam films will notice he's always there, even as early as Time Bandits. He's been there playing the small guy who tends to be smarter than most people realize.
Yes.
So with a cast like that, we have Heath Ledger passing away too soon.
Yes.
And
they haven't finished all of his shots, so they had to change a lot of the story and the way it was presented to us by introducing 3 other actors.
Now, to make this idea
to play the same
workable
role.
was the fact that the story itself had the mechanism or an engine that allowed changes to happen.
Yes.
And this was the mirror itself,
Yes.
which is the Imaginarium.
Yes. The Imaginarium reflects people's dreams and fantasies. So when people enter the mirror, they actually see what's inside of their head.
And in the movie, Heath Ledger would enter the mirror and come out as either Colin Farrell
Or Johnny Depp or Jude Law.
So,
they incorporated a change of actors into the story, so it wouldn't look as awkward or
yeah, not like our production, which is very awkward.
Yes,
It would have been a more seamless transition between characters. With that, we might as well move towards the next topic, which is the special effects. Okay, so as you can see, I keep changing clothes. That is to symbolize the effects in the movie.
Yeah. They have better effects than we do.
We don't have budget.
I know.
We don't have budget. We don't have money.
Please give us money.
That's from a different place. So, the special effects of the movie range from really, really interesting visuals, like the policeman's head rising into a balloon into the sky, to really, really shabby effects. You find yourself seeing some of the effects and wondering, was this done 20 years ago? Was this done 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Commercials have better effects than that.
It's not consistent, maybe because also of the setbacks that the production encountered. So
we have a range of, well, Terry Gilliam is always a master when it comes to how do we call this? Real concrete set design. From the folding stage.
From the paper, from a concept to an actual setup. It's really, it's really fantastic.
Like one of the scenes was in there, they were in the town, they park, and they're supposed to have a show, so the panel goes down, and the next thing you know, you have it look like a pop-up book, and the stage comes up, the set, and the hooks, and the lights, and it's amazing to look at. It's simply much more interesting to look at than my outfit right now. But when the Imaginarium comes into play, we have the grand scene of the forest, for example, that looked like a cutout forest. And then we have the not so grand CG portions. Like, they had the scene where the kids' dreams came into the forefront. So one would imagine it'd be something similar to the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory sort of world.
I was thinking of the same thing.
But instead, we find ourselves looking at something that feels like it was meant for the Atari system, with nice
maybe
bubbles.
Because he was thinking of 8-bit things. I don't know.
But it didn't feel like that either.
It just looks unfinished.
So FX has a strange range of really, really good to really terrible.
Not really, really terrible. It's a little bit shabbier than usual.
Well, I was disappointed. I was really disappointed.
It's underwhelming, in fact. The movie as a whole is a little bit underwhelming because
effects-wise.
Yeah. Because I was willing to be more wowed by it.
I've always believed Terry Gilliam was the director who catches you off guard with visuals, and this movie was a bit of a disappointment. I personally wanted more of the live effects things. I wanted more pulleys, I wanted more ropes, I wanted more fold-outs, pop-outs, and the movie could have been better effects-wise.
Yeah.
And so could have my outfit been better. So let's hope the next transition.
Because your outfit reminds me of a different Heath Ledger movie.
Yeah. We shall talk next about the overall rating of the movie.
Yes.
And whether or not it's worth waiting for in DVD. Costumes.
The costumes were really, really pretty. What do you think?
I'm not
what
wearing.
What the hell are you wearing, Toby?
I blame old Nick. Not small boy Nick, but old Nick for this. The devil's behind this. But the movie had fantastic costumes. There were so many influences going into the designs of the costumes. There were some that seemed Victorian era, some that were Baroque.
Yes.
Some seemed a bit more modern than expected.
And there are touches of the Asian.
Yeah, we had the monks who were meditating, and as long as they kept telling the story, the world would not cease to exist. So many influences, so many touches, and it really was a spectacle to see.
I'm distracted by your mama.
It's American Idol season, so Sanjaya! So yeah, costumes were fantastic. The production design was good and
was from good to excellent, I think.
Okay, you're very generous.
Yes!
Casting was tremendously generous. Some people could have felt there could have been a bit more cuteness, a bit more meaty scenes, but You know, that's
I wish
that's
there were
people.
more Heath Ledger. It was really, really sad that he passed away way before the movie finished, because I could have imagined this to be a really, really brilliant movie if he finished this entire thing. And, you know,
I guess that's the thing. In terms of an overall assessment of the film, it feels shortened. It feels cut short. In Tagalog, biten. There's this aspect that you feel like if Heath Ledger was still there, the movie could have reached so much
it felt,
different levels.
for me, it felt unfinished and rushed at the same time.
Rough. It felt very rough. It felt very.
'Cause
It felt like they
what
shortcut
can you do
things.
when, you know, somebody dies on you, right? And everybody was really saddened by this thing. That's why they also got the 3 replacement actors to play Heath Ledger's role, because they were really close.
No, this
They were
isn't.
really close friends with him.
This isn't
so.
the first time that an actor dies and the movie has to keep going.
Yeah.
There's Brandon Lee in The Crow, for
Yes.
example. But in this movie, since Heath Ledger was Heath
Was a
Ledger,
pivotal character.
it was really difficult to find a way to replace him without resorting to the beauty of the Imaginarium.
Yes. And I guess the Imaginarium was a really, really fantastic idea.
Not
Yes.
like this costume,
Yes.
which is like 80s
Can you borrow
fighting
that?
it.
I need to clean my desk or something.
So,
Yeah.
going on with the overall assessment, is the movie worth watching? Most likely, it's no longer in theaters. Even here in the Philippines, it barely lasted a week.
Yes, it actually didn't even last.
The distributors pulled it out and moved and placed more other films, which was really sad. So, if you can, catch it on DVD.
Yes, I would.
I'm excited for the DVD simply because there might be all these extras.
Mhm.
There might be, I don't know, scripts showing the parts that Heath Ledger could
I'm
have.
a fan of both Terry Gilliam and Heath Ledger, so, and Johnny Depp.
And Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp.
And Jude Law.
And Jude
Colin
Law.
Farrell.
And
You know, the boy crush. Anyway.
not Small Boy. So,
No.
watch it if you can.
Yes.
If you can catch it on the big screen, good for you. Go for it.
Mhm.
But if you aren't so sure if you want to spend that much on a new movie by Terry Gilliam,
I don't know. Maybe you could just borrow somebody else's copy or
and
something.
see it first, because
Original copy, by the way.
the reviews have always been very divided.
Yes.
Fandom Live, however, gives it a how many broken mirrors?
No broken mirrors. Just mirrors.
Okay, how many mirrors of a
I think I
rating?
give it a 3.5.
3.5.
You know, if Heath Ledger were alive, I'd give it a 5.
So it's just because of Heath Ledger that the movie's not good?
Yes, I think so, for me. Because his character's changing, I mean, the actor's changing, it kind of like watered down the effect on me. So, I guess that's it. Otherwise, you know, it's a really fantastic film.
So that's our We View episode for today. Jovan has to rush off with the rest of the crew to catch Rent, while I have
No
to
day but today!
change back into normal clothes
Oh,
and
please, yes.
hope that Nick doesn't chase after me for stating all these things about him. He doesn't like the world to know. So, this is Fandom Live, and
Bye.
till our next episode.